This is not the story of a clown. It's the story of the monster who hid behind one. From the outside, John Wayne Gacy looked like a model citizen, a successful contractor, community volunteer, and the friendly neighbor who always hosted block parties. He dressed up as Pogo the Clown for children's hospitals and charity events. He smiled for cameras. He shook hands with local politicians. But behind that painted grin, he was building something else under his house. Gacy lived in a small home in the suburbs of Norwood Park, Illinois, just outside Chicago. Neighbors said his yard was always spotless, his house always busy. He hired local teens to help with contracting jobs, a way, he said, to give kids a chance. He was the kind of man who made you feel safe. He'd talk about hard work, about opportunity. He'd even invite the kids to parties, where he'd appear dressed as his clown character, laughing, juggling, making balloon animals. No one ever questioned why the laughter always seemed to die down when he walked into the room. By 1978, something strange started happening. Neighbors began complaining about a foul smell coming from Gacy's property. He told them it was just sewer problems, or maybe a dead animal trapped under the house. But the smell never went away. It got worse. People stopped walking their dogs near his yard. Even guests mentioned it, joking about it at first, until Gacy's face would change, his voice would drop, and he'd simply say, "Don't worry about it." When one of Gacy's employees, a teenage boy, suddenly vanished, police began to notice a pattern. More and more young men, all last seen near Gacy's home, had disappeared. He denied everything, of course. He was confident, smiling, charming. But investigators began to dig deeper, literally. They learned Gacy had installed a crawl space beneath his house. He said it was for storage. But when officers entered that crawl space, they realized the air was heavy. The smell was real, and it wasn't sewage. On December 21st, 1978, police discovered the first remains beneath Gacy's house. One, then another, and another. The ground was filled with bodies, carefully placed, layered over time. He'd been hiding them for years, right beneath the floor where he ate, slept, and smiled for photos. By the time the investigation was over, authorities uncovered the remains of 29 victims on his property. 4 more were found in nearby rivers. 33 lives in total, each one taken by the man who dressed as a clown to make people smile. When Gacy was finally arrested, he told investigators, "Clowns can get away with murder because people don't take them seriously." Even in his mugshot, he smiled, calm, confident, as if it was all still a performance. He showed no remorse. He never apologized. He was executed in 1994, still insisting that he'd done nothing wrong. To this day, people say they can't look at a clown without thinking of that painted grin, and the man who hid an entire nightmare beneath his home. John Wayne Gacy wasn't the monster hiding under the bed. He was the one who built his own basement of horrors and lived right above it. I'm Dark True Horror, and this was Monster in Disguise. Subscribe, like, and follow for more stories where truth and fiction share the same shadow.